Before you celebrate that 2.8% cost of living adjustment that just hit your Social Security check, I need you to look at the map of the United States. For millions of retirees, that extra money is not staying in your pocket. It is not going toward your grandchildren's college fund or that dream trip to the coast you have been planning for 3 decades. We are officially standing at the edge of the 2026 tax cliff. While the federal government has introduced the One Big Beautiful Bill to supposedly soften the blow with the new enhanced senior deduction, a handful of states are refusing to play ball. We are talking about Vermont, Utah, Minnesota, Montana, and Rhode Island. If you live in one of these 5 states, I am not just giving you a news update, I am giving you a wake-up call because the math has fundamentally changed. In 2025, you might have been doing okay. But now, thanks to what economists call bracket creep, that tiny cost of living adjustment you just received might actually cost you thousands in lost benefits and higher state tax tiers. I want you to think about Bob and Sarah. They are a typical middle-class retired couple. Bob is 67 and Sarah is 65. They live in a modest, beautiful home in Bozeman, Montana. They did everything the right way. They saved diligently in their 401k plans. They waited until their full retirement age to claim Social Security, and they thought $110,000 in total annual income was their safety zone for the rest of their lives. But as they sat down to look at their latest tax forms, Bob's face went pale. He realized that because of the refusal of certain states to fully decouple from federal adjusted gross income, their safe retirement was leaking nearly $450 every single month to the state treasurer. That is $450 a month. Over a 20-year retirement, that is over $100,000 gone. That is the difference between a comfortable retirement and wondering if you can afford to run the air conditioning in July. Today, we are going deep into the numbers. We are going to break down the exact formulas, like the combined income formula that these 5 states are using to target your wealth. We are going to look at the specific tax table changes and the updated standard deduction of $16,100 for singles and $32,200 for married couples. By the time we are done, you are going to have a very difficult question to answer. Is your home state worth the $100,000 price tag they are charging you just to live there? We have to understand the core concept of combined income. Some people call it provisional income. This is the foundation upon which the federal government decides how much of your Social Security is taxable. And these 5 states use this exact same formula as a springboard to grab even more of your money. The formula is your adjusted gross income plus any non-taxable interest plus 50% of your Social Security benefits. If that total exceeds certain thresholds, you are in the crosshairs. This is especially lethal now because the 2.8% increase in Social Security payments has pushed millions of mid-level retirees over those thresholds for the very first time. Let us look at Utah. Many people think Utah is a retirement paradise because of the scenery, but from a financial standpoint, it is incredibly aggressive. Utah implements a 4.65% flat tax rate. On the surface, a flat tax sounds fair, but the trap lies in the retirement credit phase-out. In Utah, they give you a Social Security benefit credit, but it comes with a steep slope. For a married couple filing jointly, once your adjusted gross income exceeds $75,000, that credit starts to vanish. For every dollar Bob and Sarah earn over that limit, their credit is reduced by 2.5 cents. Since their income is $110,000, they are way past the threshold. Their $65,000 in Social Security is being taxed almost entirely at that 4.65% rate. That is $3,022 in state tax alone. That money could have paid for a year of premium healthcare premiums or several flights to see family, but instead, it is gone. Now consider Minnesota. If you are in the land of 10,000 lakes, you are dealing with one of the most complex algorithm traps in the country. Minnesota has what they call a Social Security subtraction. If your income is below $85,000 for a married couple, you might be safe. But Bob and Sarah, with their $110,000, are in the danger zone. They have to navigate Schedule M1M. Because their income is higher, their subtraction is limited by a phase-out that is even more punishing than Utah's. When you run the math through the latest state brackets, they are looking at nearly $4,000 in additional state tax compared to living just across the border in a more tax-friendly state. I told Bob that he is enduring those brutal winters just to hand over $4,000 to a state government that is already sitting on a surplus. This brings us to Vermont. Vermont remains one of the toughest states for high-income retirees. Their exemption thresholds are remarkably low, often sitting between $50,000 and $60,000. If you earn more than that, there is no mercy. You are paying full freight on your benefits. If Bob and Sarah lived in Vermont, their tax bill would be high enough to cause a genuine financial crisis in their household budget. Then you have Montana and Rhode Island. Montana is in a state of policy tug-of-war, but as of right now, they still target Social Security once you hit those mid-tier income levels. Rhode Island has a ceiling of $100,000 for adjusted gross income. Since Bob and Sarah earned $110,000, they missed the total exemption by just $10,000. That $10,000 mistake cost them thousands in taxes. If you are finding this breakdown helpful and a bit eye-opening, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We spend hundreds of hours analyzing these tax codes and legislative updates, so you do not have to. When you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, you are ensuring that you never miss a critical update about your retirement money. Financial laws are changing faster than ever, and being part of this community is your best defense against losing your hard-earned savings to outdated strategies. Share this video with at least one friend who is planning to retire soon. They need to know these numbers before they sign a mortgage or a lease in a state that is going to tax their Social Security. Let us get back into the heart of the matter. We need to perform a financial surgery on Bob and Sarah's situation. If they stay in a state like Montana, their federal tax bill is roughly $6,200. That is actually not too bad because of the new federal deductions. However, their state tax on Social Security adds another $2,800. Their total tax burden is $9,000. Now look at what happens if they move to a state like Nevada or Tennessee, where there is no state income tax. Their federal tax remains $6,200, but their state tax drops to zero. That is an immediate $2,800 raise. But the real story is even bigger. When you factor in the property tax increases we have seen recently and the general cost of living in these taxing states, the actual difference in their pocket at the end of the year is closer to $8,500. Sarah did the math on her laptop while we were talking. She realized that if they took that $8,500 they saved and put it into a simple index fund with a 7% average return, in 10 years they would have an extra $117,540. This is the core of the issue. This is not just about a few $1,000s on a tax return. This is about the erosion of your compound interest. Every dollar you give to a state treasurer is a dollar that cannot grow for your future healthcare needs or your legacy. State governments will never tell you this. They will issue press releases about how they are funding schools or infrastructure, but they will not tell you that they are clawing that money out of the dinner budgets of senior citizens who have already paid into the system for 40 years. You can see the evidence of this struggle on Form 1040-SR. Look specifically at line 6A and line 6B. Line 6A shows your total Social Security benefits, while line 6B shows the taxable amount. In these 5 states, the disconnect between what you receive and what you keep is staggering. They are essentially penalizing you for having a 401k. Every time you take a distribution from your retirement account to pay for a new roof or a medical bill, you are increasing your adjusted gross income, which then triggers the state tax on your Social Security. It is a double taxation trap that catches the middle class every single time. Now, I want to give you a clear roadmap on how to handle this. You do not necessarily have to move tomorrow, but you must perform a 2026 retirement tax audit. First, you need to pull out your latest tax return and find your taxable income on line 15. If you are in Utah or Minnesota, you need to look at Schedule M or Schedule M1M. If your adjusted gross income is approaching $75,000 for a couple or $50,000 for a single filer, you are on the edge of the cliff. Second, consider the concept of geographic arbitrage. Moving is a big deal, but the options have expanded. Look at West Virginia. They recently completed a total reversal and now fully exempt Social Security from state taxes. The cost of living and property taxes there are significantly lower than in many other parts of the country. Bob and Sarah eventually decided to move to Tennessee. By selling their home in a high-tax area and moving to a state with no income tax and strong property tax protections for seniors, they added $220,000 in liquid cash to their retirement fund from the home equity flip and saved $11,000 a year in total taxes and expenses. Third, you need to look at asset reallocation. If you cannot move, you have to change the color of your money. This means looking at a Roth conversion strategy. Distributions from a Roth IRA do not count toward your adjusted gross income. If Bob and Sarah had shifted more of their traditional 401k money into a Roth account years ago, their reported income would be lower, and they would not have triggered the Social Security tax in their home state. It is about making your income invisible to the state's taxing formulas. This is the point in the video where I remind you to check the links in the description below. I have put together a comprehensive 2026 state tax guide that breaks down every single one of the 50 states. It shows you exactly which states are tax-friendly, which ones are neutral, and which ones are aggressive. This guide is updated with the latest legislative changes from the One Big Beautiful Bill and the most recent state-level sessions. It is a vital tool for anyone who wants to take control of their financial future. If you find value in this kind of deep dive research, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a member. Your support allows us to remain independent and provide the hard-hitting facts that the big financial institutions often gloss over. We are living in a time where the rules of retirement are being rewritten every single month. Bob told me something that I will never forget. He said that he did not mind paying his fair share, but he felt like he was being punished for being successful. He felt like the goalposts were moved right as he was about to kick the ball. And he is right. The system is designed to catch people who are not paying attention. But you are paying attention. By watching this, you are already ahead of 90% of the population. Your retirement should not be a remainder left over after the government takes its cut. It should be the result of your deliberate choices. If your state is not treating you like a valued resident who has contributed for decades, then maybe it is time to find a state that will. There are plenty of places in this country that want your business, your presence, and your experience, and they will not tax your Social Security to get it. I want you to go to the comment section right now and type the name of the state you live in and whether you think the taxes there are fair. Let us start a conversation. Are you seeing your state tax bill go up despite the federal changes? Are you considering a move to a state like Florida, Texas, or West Virginia? Hearing your real-world stories helps everyone in this community understand the true impact of these policies. I try to read and respond to as many comments as possible because your feedback drives the research we do for future videos. As we wrap up, remember that knowledge is your only real protection. The 2026 tax cliff is real, but it is not unavoidable. You have the tools, you have the math, and now you have the strategy. Check your Form 1040 SR. Look at those lines 6A and 6B and decide if you are happy with the number you see. If you are not, it is time to make a plan. Whether that plan involves a moving truck or a Roth conversion, the time to act is now, before the next tax season catches you off guard. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your financial health is the most important asset you own, and I am honored to help you protect it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay informed on every update that affects your wallet. I have more videos coming up on how to maximize your 401k withdrawals under the new 2026 laws and how to navigate the rising costs of healthcare without draining your savings. You do not want to miss those. Take care of yourself, stay informed, and I will see you in the next video. The numbers do not lie, and the clock is ticking on these tax-heavy states. If you are in Utah, Minnesota, Vermont, Montana, or Rhode Island, the burden is on you to decide if the cost of staying is worth the price of your peace of mind. Every year you wait is another year of lost compound growth. Bob and Sarah are much happier now in Tennessee, not just because of the money, but because they feel like they regained control. That feeling of sovereignty over your own life is what a true retirement is all about. Make sure you share this with your spouse or your financial advisor this week. Sit down and run the numbers together. Use the formulas we discussed. Look at the 2.8% COLA and see if it is actually a net positive for you or if it is just a trigger for more taxes. Being proactive is the difference between a retirement of abundance and a retirement of scarcity. Before you go, I want to emphasize one last thing. The One Big Beautiful Bill changed the federal landscape. But the state landscape is where the real battles are being fought. Do not let your state government quietly siphon away the benefits you earned through decades of sweat and hard work. You have the power to vote with your feet. You have the power to move your assets. Use that power. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of savvy retirees. We are all in this together, and together we can navigate the complexities of the 2026 tax codes. Stay tuned for more deep dives, more case studies, and more actionable advice that puts you first. I will be right here with you every step of the way, providing the analysis you need to thrive in this changing economy. See you soon.